Today's video is about shoulder exercise, body weight shoulder pressing. It stands to reason or state that when we're looking to do shoulder press exercises, I always start people with this exercise, which of course isn't necessarily a shoulder press exercise, but the humble push-up. But I'm a real stickler with my push-ups. When I do push-ups, I think the optimal way to do them is hands underneath the shoulders, so not necessarily wider than the shoulders, and keeping those elbows real close in. Even here, you might see that they're flaring out a little bit. But what this does is it lays the foundation for the next exercises. It also lays the foundation for a lot of the progressive push-up exercises, which I'll be covering in a later video. So once again, we've got the body pretty straight, elbows are coming back. From there, what we can do is we can use kind of a bit of a seesawing motion where the hands, or excuse me, my ears coming in between my biceps and I'm sticking my hips right up in the air. If you're like me and you've got some pretty stiff hamstrings, then bend your knees. From there, we incorporate a little bit more of a dip or a scoop, and we can adjust the intensity of the exercise by how deep the scoop is. The first few I did about halfway deep. Then, of course, we can progress to the point where we're just skimming our nose right against the ground. The deeper you go, the harder it is. It's going to be tempting, of course, too, to let your shoulders flare out. It's also tempting to not let your hips come up. The point of these exercises is to drive your hips upwards. We can progress it further by putting our feet up on some sort of a stool or a platform like this. Higher stools and platforms are going to be more challenging, but don't underestimate this move as far as just a few inches off the ground. Even though this stool is about 7 or 8 inches off the ground, it really enhances the tension of this exercise. So once again, I'm focusing keeping the ears in between the biceps at the top, not letting the elbows flare out too much, although I'd like to see them flare out a little bit less in this case. And the point, of course, again, is to drive the hips upwards rather than backwards. From there, we can progress again with placing the feet against the wall. What this is going to do is you have to put a lot of pressure into the wall in order to just stay there. So it looks very similar to the exercise on the stool, but it is much more difficult, much higher intensity by far. As you can see, I'm only getting like singles here, 2 or 3 reps. Higher your feet go up on the wall, the more intense, more, of course, your body's working against gravity, and the harder it is. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts down below. Till then, be fit, live free.